by Tre Tucker. Tre, good morning. If you would provide us an opening statement about your thoughts of being in the college football playoff before you open the floor for questions.
Obviously, I'm extremely excited. I think it's a big accomplishment for our program and all the work that we put in through this offseason. So I'm just excited to get out there and compete with my brothers and hopefully make it to the national championship.
Our first question comes from Katie Kapusta.
Hi, Tre. Good morning. Katie Capuso with Spectrum News 1 Ohio. I know you're an Ohio kid being up from Akron. Cincinnati has the most Ohio kids from any team in the state. How much pride do you guys have in taking and representing the state of Ohio, especially in the college football playoffs this year?
So obviously we have guys from other states on our team, and I always find myself arguing with them that's saying like Ohio is the top state. So I take it very serious, and I'm from Northeast Ohio, so like sometimes I'll argue with the guys down here that are in Cincinnati that Northeast Ohio is better, but as a whole, Ohio is a great state, tremendous football, and I'm just an honor to be a part of it.
Our next question comes from Jeremy Rauch.
Trey, just wanted to ask you, Jeremy Ralph, Fox 19 Cincinnati, I wanted to ask you about the trajectory of this team and kind of the now or never feeling of getting here now and it being a one-and-done shot. How much do you feel like this team is still just beginning in some ways with where Luke Fickell has already taken it?
Yeah, it's definitely still continuing to building, and like I'm a junior myself, and I just remember my freshman year, we were I think 11-3. And right then and there, I'm like, wow, like we've reached like a high point. Like how much higher can we go? And then you see the next year we did. And then obviously this year coming up. So I don't think there's no ceiling for us right now. I think we're still building, and Coach Fickell is doing an amazing job and all the guys that he has with him. And I think this program is on its way to becoming a top 10 program in the future, which is one of his goals that he always talks about, which being a top 10 program. So I think that's definitely within reach. And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Our next question comes from Joe Danneman.
Yeah, Joe Danneman from the Fox in Cincinnati. Wanted to ask you about the way the team played at the end of the season, because you think back to the middle of the season, there were a couple of games that got a little bit shaky, a little bit nervy for the team. To play the way you did the final few weeks as a launching point into this game, how important was it to play some of your best football at the end of the season to build that confidence back up for a game this big?
Well, obviously, yeah, like you said, during that time, that little stretch we had, we know we were capable of, there was just a couple things going wrong. And I just remember coming back to one of the practices leading after those games, and, we just were like, we're just going to play against each other. We're just going to go basically good on good, and we're gonna do stuff like that, scrimmage against each other, because that's really how you get better, and I'm a believer of that as well. And I just remember those practices were great. Like that was probably one of the best practices we had in a while, and I just remember feeling that spark, and it translated to the game that upcoming Saturday. So I think it was definitely important for us, but we always knew we were capable of it.
Do you feel like you're playing your best football now?
Yeah, I think we are. Well, we played SMU, ECU, Houston. So I definitely think we're right about there.
Our next question comes from Jeff Spiegel.
Hey Trey, Jeff Spiegel, WBMA in Birmingham. Your first time in the playoff for Cincinnati, but obviously you guys have played in big games on big stages at Notre Dame, the Peach Bowl last year. How prepared is this team for this moment?
Yeah, so I actually remember coming in my freshman year. During camp, we had like practices at night, and I remember like one of our focuses was being able to play like on the big stage, because obviously I wasn't here the year before, but they played UCF at UCF, and some of those guys would say like that's the loudest stadium they've ever played in, like to this day, and that the stage was like insane. So I remember that my freshman year, just coming in as a freshman, I'm like, okay, like I guess I can get ready for this too. And yeah, fast forwarding to now, we played on, played at Notre Dame, played at Indiana, which was a very hostile environment. I don't think it's nothing new. I think we're used to it now. And actually at home, for me personally, I think at home is like insane. Obviously, those guys are rooting for us, but like I think coming into our place and playing in front of those fans, our amazing fans every week helps as well. So I think it's just like, yeah, it's just another game for us basically.
Our next question comes from Zachary Brazilian.
What do you think makes your two cornerbacks so tough? What is it about those two guys that makes them so difficult?
Well, first, they're very smart. Like you can have a lot of athletic ability, but like football smarts is very important as well. Ahmad, he's very smart. Like sometimes, like we'll line up out there and he'll tell me my route before I even run it. Just based off alignments and things like that, which sometimes blows my mind because I'm like, how do you know? I haven't even ran the route yet. So it just shows like the preparation that he puts in. And Cole is extremely smart. Like honestly, like I line up to the field, that's where he is the most. And me or Tyler, me or Jaden, whoever's out there, we'll come out in like a certain type of set. And like I said, he already calls out we're running. We just look at each other like, all right, and obviously they're both very long, they're fast, they're physical, they're extremely athletic, and they're great team players.
Next question comes from Billy Witts.
Hi, Trey. I'm just wondering kind of how it's registered with you when you see the last few days programs around the country, they haven't been able to play with bowl games because of COVID, when, I think like there's only been one game that had been canceled all season. So it seemed like, the country and college football kind of been, in a much safer space.
Yeah, so honestly, I mean, that's unfortunate, but our health staff, they take great care of us. And if you have any questions regarding that, you can contact them.
Next question comes from Chad Brendel.
Hey Trey, I wonder what the sense of urgency is like from the younger guys with this senior class that has been so much to this program. Is there a belief or a feeling that like, hey, we gotta get this thing across the finish line for these guys to kind of lay the foundation for where this program's at right now?
Yeah, a lot. I just know like these past practices, we, including myself, have been on them a lot, because like a lot of these guys like Kobe Bryant, all those guys, they came in when the program was, at a low. So, they know what it takes to become basically great. So, and like I think sometimes when you walk into a program that's already building up really well, you kind of get complacent, and like Coach Fick's not gonna let that happen. So, we have to stay on them, let them know like, hey, like your time is coming, but basically you got to work really hard to do that. And just learning from guys, like I said, Kobe, like myself, I remember coming out as a freshman, and I think he was in his sophomore year, junior year, I don't really remember. But yeah, and just like seeing the way he works, how hard he works, and like a guy that's played a lot of football and continues to still work hard is, that means a lot to me because like, I honestly, like if you've played a lot of football, you're a starter and things like that, you can be like, like I got it, like I'll let them guys figure out themselves. But no, he's always been hands-on help, and there's a lot of other guys like that as well. Yeah.
Next question comes from Justin Williams.
Hey Trey, Coach Fick has talked a lot about what the seniors on this team have accomplished, 4, 5, 6 year guys, and kind of how far the program has come under that. What does it feel like for you, though? When you came in, you joined an 11-win team, and it's kind of been a string of success in your 3 years. Does it feel a little bit different? Are you able to understand where it came from before you got there?
Yeah. So I committed in 2018, and that was the season right before they had went to the Military Bowl, I believe. I just believed in what Coach Fick was building here. So, like, I didn't really care what the record was. I just knew that, like, he's building something special, and I wanted to be a part of it. So fast forward to when I got here, I just remember, like, them saying, like, look, like, yeah, we had an 11-win season last year, but, like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, you can have a really good season, then the next season you don't do as great. So, like, they were on us, like, hard, and, we worked hard as freshmen, and, like, they still had guys coming back, so there weren't that many freshmen playing that year. So, I actually got a little bit of time, and I got to be around those guys a lot, so it was really helpful. And yeah.
Our final question for Tre comes from Keith Jenkins.
Hey Tre, you're obviously a well-rounded player, but you've developed into one of the top returners in the country. I'm curious, how do you think the return game will play, and how big of a factor the outcome of this game?
Special teams will be very important. Yeah, I don't know where that's coming. Return, kick return, punt, punt. All those special teams will be important. You know, we were actually watching film on them, and Texas A&M had a kick return for a touchdown, and they ended up winning that game. So, could that have been a point to where they have won? Maybe. I don't know, but I know special teams will be very important, and I hope that I get a few chances to return some and see what I can do with it.
Tre, thank you very much. Best of luck on Friday.
Appreciate it. Thank you.